The number one question we get asked as a couple is, how do you guys do it? How do you do it with 5 kids? How do you do it while staying happy? How do you do it while not trying to kill each other? How do you make money together in your relationship? So in this video, we're going to talk to you guys about how to secure the bag with Bay. All right, very excited about that. How about you?
I'm excited about it. Secure the Bag with Bay is what we've been working on for the past 8-9 years.
8-9 years. So It's official, guys. We are officially building around securing the bag with Bay, which is everything we've been doing, which is, if you guys see the cups here, the Secure the Bag with Bay cup.
Yes.
We have the CEO devotional to help couples secure the bag with Bay, keeping God in the middle and making sure you guys are on the same page.
Yeah.
But enough about all of this stuff. Let's dive right into it. So how can a couple secure the bag with Bay? What do they need to know? Like, we come from completely different backgrounds. I'm Jamaican, you're Haitian.
Yeah.
Like, what's the first step?
Completely different. We're Caribbean.
We Caribbean, but we come from 2 different houses.
Yes.
So, most couples, they come from 2 different houses, or practically all of them come from 2 different houses. Mm-hmm. So being completely different, growing up different, being wide different, like, what are some of the things, what are some of the roadblocks that stop them from securing the bag together, and how can they maneuver through that?
I would say just like understanding each other's financial blueprint, just knowing if you're a saver or a spender, making sure that y'all have your goals aligned, making sure y'all know where y'all want to go. And I would say just, holding each other accountable and just like understanding that we're on the same team.
If you had to go back into the past to 2013, 2014, do you have a list of questions that you would have asked me to make sure I was the right one to secure the bag? Like, if you had to do it over again, because I know you had your questions, I had my questions. But knowing what you know now, like, we have daughters and we have sons.
Yes.
What would you say to them as, hey, these are some questions that you need to ask your boo in the future to know if, they're the right one? Because is it all about love, or what would you say?
Man, it is not all about love. Okay. Like, if I really unpack the questions that I ask you, because at that time when I met you, I was reading a book. Why are you looking at my shirt like that?
I'm just looking at your shirt.
I was reading a book, and I asked you a few questions, but to unpack, to see if that's the person that they should be with. In what sense, like the financial sense, or just in general?
Doesn't have to be the financial. It could just be,
man,
hey, do you want kids?
That's a whole different episode. But
you're 20.
Okay.
So let's do. Okay, well, securing the bag with Babe wouldn't really be happening at 20. It would be happening.
But nowadays we're in 2025, and I don't know. Maybe it's because the environments that we're in. A lot of these young professionals are like trying to secure the bag.
They are?
Yeah. It wasn't like back in the day when, like...
They're trying to do it with Bae? Because I think the securing the bag with Bae happens when you got lock in, you got kids, you're a little bit more serious, which is like 28, 29, 30.
Right. I think that we're in the era of creating content. So they are just trying to figure a way how to generate income from this digital era.
Okay.
And so if they happen to have a partner that they lovey-dovey with, they'll be like, yo, let's post this content. Let's do this. Let's do that. Not necessarily in their mind saying, hey, I'm going to go secure the bag with Bay, and that's their whole venture.
Okay. So then I guess we got to take it back. I don't want to say convince, but would you say that a couple, right, you're in a relationship, maybe you don't have any kids yet, or maybe you have a couple of kids, you're married. Would you say that the odds are better in their favor if they work together?
100%.
Why would you say that?
So even if they're working together and they have separate 9-to-5s, it's all about the vision and the goal.
Okay.
You understand? So because you could still work, your 9 to 5, and you're investing money, you're growing your money, and you just know exactly what to do with each other's money.
Correct.
You understand? To help that grow. But if you're in the entrepreneur space and you decide to go at it together, you have a higher probability of just having like success there without the drama.
Okay.
Separately, like for example, me and you I was into at that time nursing, and you was into personal training. And we ended up getting a shop, right? And you was running the shop, but I was still working a few hours as a nurse. But imagine what happened when I had the conversation with you about leaving my nursing job, and we decided to go all in. There was a big jump in our income.
Yeah.
A big jump in our relationship. A big jump, and it was all good jumps. Now, did it stay like that throughout the time? No, there was trials, there was, things that happened, but that big jump happened because we decided to go all in on something together.
I can definitely, I understand that because I'm a part of it. And a couple of things you said in there, and guys, pay attention to this, vision, right? The alignment of the vision is very important.
Yeah.
And vision could be, you could be at a job and your partner be at a separate job. It doesn't have to be both of y'all together, but at least if y'all at two separate jobs, the vision, the end game needs to be the same.
Facts.
And I think for most people, the end game is very, it's a pattern. Everybody wants the same thing. We want freedom of time, freedom of money, and the ability to come and go and not be restricted by time and money. And we don't want to
and do something that fulfills you, that makes you happy doing.
There's that, but we don't also want to sacrifice anything, sacrifice a relationship, sacrifice family time, and we don't want to too much cross over the things that we have as boundaries.
Correct.
Right, which is just
finding the
value violation. Yeah. So we all want those similar things. How we're going about it is different. Two people may say, "Hey, I'm going to be an attorney. I'm going to be a doctor." Hey, you're making good money, but you may not have the quality of time to be there for the kids. You're making great money, 6 figures. 250, 300K, but you just don't have the time. And then you may be in a situation where, hey, you're in a restaurant industry, hotel industry, maybe you're a social worker making 50K, 60K a year. You're working for the city. You got good benefits, good pension, but you work a lot at the city too. And financially, you still can't do the overstepping.
Right.
And there's something that we learned where there's different levels of financial payoffs that you're looking for, right? There's financial security. Financial security is all of your bills that you need on a month-to-month basis taken care of. After financial security, there was financial vitality. Financial vitality is where your security is taken care of, and you got a little bit extra to take care of anything that you need to make you happy. And then you have financial independence, the exact amount of money you need to be independent from a job or a corporation. Then you had financial freedom. Financial freedom is the money you need to be independent, and then go buy some bigger luxuries.
Yes.
And then absolute financial freedom is when you have enough money to never, ever, 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 ever work again.
Or have to worry about anything. Like you could go buy a boat tomorrow.
You could buy a boat tomorrow, right? Sometimes we're financially independent, but you can't go buy a boat tomorrow.
Right.
And financial independence is not that really complicated. Like one of the examples that we learned is if you want to make $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year. $60,000 a year. If you were able to accumulate, right, $1 million and have that invested in a 6% vehicle, that's $60,000 a year in interest. So you're living off of the $60K, which is your interest, and the principal, which is your million, stays the same. So having a real estate portfolio where you're getting, passive income from your properties, right? Having a digital product business where you're getting passive income from your digital product business. So there's many different ways to achieve that. We're not going to go into that too much on this episode. We want to talk about the alignment, the decisions that you need to make, and some of the pain points that you're going to experience on that journey.
Right.
So go back to financial blueprint.
Okay.
What's that financial blueprint? Like, what does that mean?
Financial blueprint.
You said, one of the things that you got to get together with a couple first is your financial blueprint got to be in alignment. Explain that.
I like to give examples. So for us, what ended up happening is, I grew up with my mom sharing with me, like, you only got one life to live. So if you want to get something, get it. If you want to eat something, eat it. You want to go somewhere, go. And because that was how I grew up, and I've seen her work hard, but I also seen, she was the type of person that was into jewelry. Mm-hmm. And so she would buy gold, she would buy silver, she had a good jewelry stash. And that's what fulfilled her. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it wasn't 100% good, because when I started to work, I'm like, I'm gonna buy this because it makes me feel good. And
did you buy jewelry?
Not jewelry, but bags and shoes and food. So what would happen is I grew up, and when I started working, I would make sure to go buy the things that I wanted, materialistic stuff. And over time, those materialistic stuff don't yield no return.
Yeah,
as you get older,
the money
gone. And so you were different. Damo would pay his light bill 2-3 months in advance, and he would be able to have money saved and go to his saving account and say, oh yeah, I got this, let me just go into my savings account or whatever other account that he had. And I didn't have no saving account. So we had to talk about our money blueprint, which we learned in Secrets to a Millionaire Mind, because what would happen was I would go to spend the money, and he'd be like, why don't you just pay the bill 2 months in advance? And I was like, why would I pay the bill 2 months in advance? I don't know what a month is going to look from now. So those things would cause a rift. And we have to understand our money habits so that we could be on the same road. Because what would happen is I would be like, no, I deserve this, I'm going to go buy it. And you'll be like, well, the light deserved to be paid. So you should do that. And so we had to figure out, okay, what is it that I really want? And what it is that I really want was the ability and the freedom to feel like I took care of me before I took care of anything else. What I wanted was to make sure, I don't want my lights off. So I want to make sure that my bills are paid before anything else. You know why? And when you look at that, it's all because of past trauma, programming, etc. And so we had to just be on the same page. We had to be on the same page because we both decided that we're going somewhere 1, 2, 3 years from now, and we want our money to look like this.
Yeah. And, what you're saying, that there's a couple of things that's replaying in my mind. And it's a couple phrases that we've heard over the couple of years. And they just popped up wow, big and bold. And the first phrase that we learned is, for this to work, you have to decide that you either want to be right or you want to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing, right? You got to either want to be right or you want to be in a relationship. You might not be able to get both. Being right is fighting and holding on to all of the things that you believe and thinking that you should be right. Wanting to be in a relationship is getting in alignment and saying, what do we have to do to make this work? What do I have to change? What do I have to do differently? How can we make this work? That's the first one. The second one is, you either want to be right or you want to be rich. Mm-hmm. And there are some things that we had to learn how to do different, because I was right with paying my bills 2-3 months in advance. And Felicia was right in buying whatever she wants and satisfying that emotional need. But it wasn't going to make us rich, right? Because we weren't paying ourselves first. We weren't investing. We weren't accumulating assets. We weren't circulating money. We were spending money. And when you spend money, the last 3 letters in the word spend is end, E-N-D, right? And the third thing that we learned is choose your hard. Being broke is hard, but so is getting rich. Choose your hard. So everything we did in that situation, they were hard. But it was hard going back where you come from. It was hard getting up every day and arguing. It was hard getting up and saying, man, am I going to be in another divorce? Am I going to be a single mom or a single dad? Am I going to have to tell my kids, hey, mommy and daddy ain't working out, so, you're going to have to visit me on the weekend and we're going to do a custody battle, right? Am I going to be a child support person?
Right.
Those are hard.
Yeah.
But it's just as hard to get up and go read a book on finance, go read a book on relationships. And shout out to network marketing.
And for someone who haven't did those things.
Yeah, because this everything you need to know is in a book.
Facts.
Right? It's in a book. It's in a YouTube video. or the answers is inside of somebody's head. But I want to say shout out to network marketing, because the fact that we were in network marketing together, we were able to hear the same information, get access to the same mentor, the same coach, and get access to the same books.
Right.
So what does that look like for you? The next time you go and you order a book on Amazon, order 2 copies. Order 1 copy for you and order 1 copy for your partner. And then you read it and they read it. And then don't say nothing. Don't say nothing, because the same information that you saw, they saw. So what will happen is subconsciously you will start acting the way you're supposed to act. You will start thinking the way you're supposed to act. And one of the biggest mistakes I made a couple of times was I would read something in a book and I would see Felicia and I would be like, I'm reading this book. And, in the book it says, and she would get so pissed. She used to be like, don't be trying to coach me from no damn book.
Like, don't be trying to book me.
Don't be trying to book me.
Like, I read the book too.
Yeah, that's not what the book said. That's not what I got from the book. There's different perspectives.
There's different perspectives.
Yeah,
yes.
But it's all fun and games, though. It's all fun and games. So first thing to secure the bag with Bay is alignment. Right.
Yeah,
okay. So
sure.
Once we got alignment now,
and alignment, but you got to understand that it's not just simple alignment. It's alignment in different categories. Alignment about your money blueprint, alignment about your work ethics, alignment about your mindset, alignment about where you're trying to go,
taking
about
care
the
of the
vision,
house.
The alignment about the house. So it's like it's not just alignment. Alignment has different categories that fall under it. It's just like when you talk about life, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, I want to live a fulfilled and purposeful life. So under life, there's health, there's wealth, there's friendship, family, there's spiritual. So like under alignment, all of those things also fall in there too.
Yeah.
So it's alignment in what area?
Yeah, everything Felicia said is 100% alignment all the way across the board. So once you have the alignment in the goals and the visions and where you want to go, right? Where there's lack of vision, people perish. And where there's vision, people flourish, right? You can go and get counsel, which is finding somebody who has what you want, that where you want to be, that you respect and that you trust, and model that person, right? Ask them for some advice. Sometimes they're not in your family. You may have to find this person in church. You may have to join a coaching group, a mentorship group, or go get yourself a mentor, or just start with a book, right? And go get some counsel. So now you have the alignment down pack. The next thing you're going to need to figure out is how to start making money without trading your time and your energy, right? Without overworking, because there's only 24 hours in a day. And Jim Rohn said, you don't get paid for time. You get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace.
And let's unpack that, right? Because when you say without trading your time, there's few people who will be like, well, you got to put in the work. You got to give in your time.
Yeah,
so what?
Absolutely.
So explain, what do you mean by not trading your time? Because no matter what, you still have to give some time to get the work done.
Absolutely. So traditionally, what we were taught, in order to make money, we were taught go to school, get good grades, come out and get a job, and show up every day. 8 to 10 hours a day, 40 hours a week. I'm going to get paid $20 an hour. So I do that. That's $800, right? That's traditionally how we were taught how to make money. Go to work every week and trade in the time. Now, what happens? If you don't go to work to give the time, you don't get paid. So how can you generate income a different way? Generating income a different way is figuring out what are the assets that you can own or you can get into and let those assets pay you. So you're still going to use time to create that asset. So for example, let's say you wanted to get into real estate. You're going to need time to learn how to buy that house or learn how to do that fix and flip. But once you buy that house, you're going to have to fix it up. But once you sell that house, right, the house is sold, you just made a big chunk of money. Vice versa, if you're able to buy that house and rent it out. It does take time to do the study, to learn the knowledge, to learn the information, to go buy the house and to go fix the house and then to go rent it and then to collect rent and maintain the house. However, you're not working 40 hours a week anymore. Another example is being an author, right? This is one of the books that we wrote. We have a couple other books, right? But it took time to write this book, right? It took time for Felicia to design the cover. It took time for us to sit there and write the contents in the book. It took time. It took at least maybe like 3 weeks. and then to edit it, get it listed. But once it's listed, it sells, you make money, right? So we're not trading time for money because this book is an asset that generates income, right? Give me an example from your side.
I would say buying a business.
Buying a business,
You
right?
know, a lot of time people want to start a business and not understand like there's actually businesses out there for sale.
Yeah.
And if you learn how to just market the business, you'll be in surplus. And so like going to buy the business is okay, well, I got to go figure out how to go buy the business. So there's a learning curve for that. So that requires time to learn or get a coach and mentor. I got to go find a coach and mentor that's going to teach me about that. That still requires your time.
Yeah.
So what it is when we're talking about time, it's more, you can get paid $20 an hour for an 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour shift, or you can find, like my husband said, assets that will be able to yield you the income that you want to make without necessarily having to go punch in for a specific hour to make a specific amount.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're actually in business for yourself, you might start off with punching in or giving your time and doing stuff. So while I was creating this book, for the 3 weeks and the 2-3 hours that I worked on it per day, I didn't get paid for that.
Yeah, it's facts. It's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. However, the book is up now. I talk about the book, and now I'm making money from the book. And guess what? I will continue to make money from the book.
Yeah.
As long as I know how to market it, as long as I know how to sell it. In a job, if you don't go and punch in, you will not make whatever you're supposed to be making per hour.
Yeah.
So when we say trade time for money, we're talking about trade that punch in for money.
Yeah. In the beginning, you may have to do both, right? You may have to keep your job because your job provides a security.
Right.
And you now have to leverage that 3 hours a day, maybe 5 hours for the week, and y'all put your brains together and do something. So one of the things that we learned through some Robert Kiyosaki, was figure out how to turn intellectual property, which is the stuff that you know, your knowledge, your skills, your expertise, figure out how to turn that into real property, right? So turn your knowledge and skills into a book.
Intellectual property.
Yeah. So turn your knowledge and skills, which is intellectual property, into real property. So this is real property.
Now.
Turn your knowledge and skills right into something real. It doesn't have to be a book. It could be a course. It could be a membership community. It could be a coaching program. It could be a
podcast.
It could be a podcast.
It could be a YouTube.
Right.
It could be. It's like there's so many avenues.
Yeah, this is good because your knowledge and we are talking about the knowledge and skills that we have on YouTube.
Right. So it's so phenomenal, the era that we're in right now, that like securing the bad with Bay is not as hard as many people think.
Yes.
It's just really looking inside of you guys and figuring out, okay, well, I'm actually good at cooking. Well, I don't want to be in the camera while you're cooking, but I'll record you.
I'll be the cameraman.
I'll be the cameraman.
Yeah.
And and like it's like people can build a huge brand just off of that, just off of the realness and the authenticity of that. And so it's just opening the mind to the concept of, it's not just making income the standard way.
Yeah. Something Felicia just said, I don't want to be on it. You're the cook, babe. I don't want to cook, but I'll hold the camera for you.
Right.
It brings me to my third point. So we have alignment, followed by getting some counsel, and then we have getting an offer where you could start making money without trading time. The third one is getting really good at identifying the roles that you play in the relationship and the business.
Man, repeat that again.
Identifying the roles and the skills and values and the assets you possess and what you bring inside of the relationship, because you don't want to be a clone or a copycat of each other, and God did not make y'all like that. Right. You have unique skills. Your partner have unique skills. And if y'all could figure out how to come together and get that chemistry going real right, you guys can make a lot of magic happen. And, inside of our community, Secure the Bag with Bay community, we have a free community. It's a Facebook group. We show you how to identify your roles and just the different personality types that you are and the different skill sets that you can bring to the relationship. We're going to leave a description for that below where you can get access to the community. But there's different roles in the community. For example, I may be the person who is the driver, where I'm like, hey, I need to stay busy. I need to go. And Felicia's like the person like, you know what? Let me go pray on it, because my intuition, the way my gut is feeling, my discernment is really not on it. And then she may come and she like, hey, babe, all right, God told me the answer. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't like how the organization of the room looks. There's laundry here. The kids' socks is all on the floor. I can't focus because the environment is too cluttered for me and it's too crazy.
Right.
And Felicia may be like, you know what? I want to work with people who I trust. I want to work with people who are loyal. I don't want to just work with anybody.
Okay.
And then we're just not going anywhere. That's because we didn't really understand who we were. We knew our spiritual gifts. We knew the skills we had. We knew what we possessed, but we did not know the roles and the different energies that we brought to the relationship and the business.
Right. So it took a lot of energy to unpack that, and it's so interesting because we've been at this for 8 years, and every day is still unpacking.
Yeah.
It's
still,
a
lot of boxes. A lot of boxes up there.
We're still unpacking every day.
A lot of boxes.
However, what happens is the vision is the vision, the goal is the goal.
Yeah.
So we have to come to some type of agreement based off of each other's strength. And sometimes we got to be like CFOs, CROs, right? We got to be chief reminding officers.
Yeah, you said.
Right. And I got to remind you that I'm the creative here. You're trying to create this flyer and this cover, but I'm the creative. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So it's like, it's a give and take, but at the end of the day, it's supposed to just help you get to the goal.
Yeah, that's really good. So I hope you guys are getting something from this episode. If you guys are, make sure you guys are following the channel, The Entrepreneur Couple. Leave a comment below. Let us know what's your biggest takeaway so far. And just to kind of close you guys out. So we got the vision down pat. Mm-hmm. We have the offer. We know we need to have something outside of our current job. Mm-hmm. And if we can do it together, great. If we don't, also great.
That's fine.
Understanding the roles and the different positions that we play. Now, how does somebody take all of that? How do they put that into action and go start getting some results?
I would say if I were to go back into time, I think, and this is why we created this, right? Because what happened is there's no blueprint for us. There's no blueprint for the couples out there who are looking for other couples to, change their financial future. There's no, I haven't found it. You understand? Unless there's like an inner circle that nobody is talking about, that you got to just know somebody to know somebody. I haven't found it. And so we decided, all right, it's kind of nerve wracking for us because this is new to us. And, this is just kind of like moving off of faith. And it's kind of like moving off of, what God has done for us. And so we want to do it for people because it was challenging going into an industry for couples because in Google, people are looking about how to make money online. Mm-hmm. They're not looking, how do me and my partner make money online? Mm-hmm. But we know that if we were looking, how do we build a business together so that we could change our financial future, other couples or other individual partnerships are doing it too.
They're Googling the same thing separately.
Correct. And so it was just important for us. All right, well, we don't see the environment, so let's create the environment. And we've had over close to 10 years of experience in the environment. And we know like the ups and downs and we're still learning. So why not just get a whole bunch of phenomenal couples together? We learn together, we grow together, we make money together, we grow families together, and we just, be a big old family. You understand?
Yeah.
And so us doing this is because of that. So to answer your question, I know I went on a little rant. To answer your question is getting in a community that you have like-minded people, environment is everything. If there was anything that shifted how we think, how we move, how we talk, how we just do anything, it was 100% environment. You cannot get to the next level being in the same environment or having the same mindset. Something got to shift. Yeah. And so I would say the first and probably the biggest things that you could do is get around like-minded people who want to see you win. And so with those people, we want to see you win. And we have people who have poured into us, and we want to pour into some people too.
Yeah, I would say the two biggest roadblocks that stop couples from securing the bag together are financial problems and relationship problems.
Yeah.
Right? Financial problems is you don't know how to balance out that money communication and come in alignment, or you're not making enough money. And relationship problems, you don't know how to communicate. A lot of things get swept under the carpet. A lot of things get unsaid. You guys end up doing and saying certain things that you can't come back from. And it's just silent treatment all week under that financial stress.
Right.
And we know exactly how that feels because we felt like that earlier on in our relationship. Sometimes we still feel like that. But what we found out is having the right environment, having the right people around you who you can trust, who are aligned, who are going through similar situations, and who have successfully navigated that. You know, they can help you cut down that learning curve, and they can help you avoid some of those landmines that you're going to step on.
Right.
And a perfect example is we're parents of 5 kids. And people ask us, how do y'all do it with the kids and who changes the diapers and everything like that? And I had a buddy of mine that, you know, we hung out with for a little while. They just had a newborn baby. And they would get into arguments about who's to change the baby's diaper. And what I found out was, it's not that he didn't want to change the diaper. It was he did not know how. He didn't know how because it was a newborn baby and he was scared. He was scared of hurting the baby.
Wow.
And so here you're looking at a guy who's like, oh, he's lazy. He don't want to change the diaper. He's always passing the baby off to me. What it was he was scared and he was nervous. He didn't want to get up he had a daughter. He didn't want to get up into the cracks and the crevices of the baby. And so he would just only do the pee and pass off the poop to the mom.
Wow.
But if you look at that, that was just miscommunication and it was just lack of education.
Correct.
Right. So I was just like, nah, bro, here's how you do it. 1, 2, 3, and boom, problem solved. But we were only able to do that because of our proximity. Right. Because of our shared information and shared knowledge. So like Felicia said, you know, if you want to get past these roadblocks, you want to get yourself in the right environment. And inside of the Secure the Bag with Bae community, we're definitely going to show you how to get past some of those roadblocks.
For sure.
The second thing you're going to need a system. Right? The best system that we can vouch for is the God system. You want to make sure God is in the middle of everything because, you know, without him on the foundation, you're building your foundation on the sand, right? So we've put together the devotional. We've put together a community for you where we want to invite you guys to come and check these things out. We're going to put the link for the description in those below. And, you know, we're excited for what you're about to accomplish in 2025 because when you really break it down, the only thing blocking your bag is you. And if you can get past you, if you can learn to love you, learn to understand you, then you got everything covered.
Facts.
And it sounds like our baby's upstairs going through some stuff.
Yeah, I hope she's not in the bathroom.
Yeah. So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up. Baby, you want to close us out? Tell them something, some little inspo for the day. Fayspo? Fay inspo?
It's fee.
Finspo?
Feespo.
Feespo? Get them some feespo for the day.
Well, listen.
Or get them some tech talks for the day.
It's more of, you know, you saw this episode. Thank you for watching. You know, leave a comment, subscribe, send it to a friend. And also drop whatever it is that you would like for us to touch on too as well. And we appreciate the fact that you're here with us. And go join Secure the Bag community. It's a free Facebook group. And we want to pour into you. And we just want you to know what we know. So thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
Yep. Don't know us by now. We're the entrepreneur couple. I'm Domonique.
I'm Felicia.
And with that being said, we out.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
Looking for more tips on how to build your purpose-driven business? Be sure to check out our Money Making Secrets playlist at the top right-hand corner of the screen.
Or you can check out our most recent uploaded video right below.
Enjoy. See you soon.